Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 250! The Horrible Way to Die. That's it.
You mean, of course, death by podcast overload?
Yes. My name is Eric.
And I am known as Jason. Yeah, it feels like it's been forever since we've done this.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm having fun.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
so far.
Well, the listener isn't. I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for the listener. This is now our third podcast in 2 days.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Because you demanded it.
I did.
Oh, I meant the listener.
Oh, okay. They did not.
Well, that's kind of like when Marvel always claimed that readers demanded it. No one did. No one wanted Paste Pot Pete brought back or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, we've been busy.
Yeah, we've been casting and potting.
Yeah. Our voices are gonna be rough tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I'll massage my throat with honey lemons.
Oh. Honey lemons?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I did eat some honey chicken last night.
Oh.
Not a thing I usually order whenever we are at the Chinese place.
Right. How was it?
It was alright.
No.
Chicken's a little tough,
Mm-hmm.
but it was tasty. Like, just the flavoring, whatever.
I know you had something else you don't usually eat today.
Subway?
No, you tried a piece of my veggie jerky.
That's right, I did. Yeah, that was...
It was Stonewall brand. Wild. They have mild and wild.
Okay. It was had a little kick to
A
it.
little wild.
Not too much, but,
Right.
just a good amount of flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad, eh?
It was not bad. Not something I would want to eat on a regular basis,
Right.
but, if you, in a month or so had some with you, I would take a piece.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tasty. I like it. A lot of protein. 14 grams in that tiny little bag.
That's a lot of protein.
That's like 3 meals
Yeah.
worth of protein.
I should eat more protein.
Protein's good.
Yeah. Less starches. That's what I need.
Yeah.
But it's hard to
Carbs and starches, yeah.
it's hard to avoid those when you're poor,
Mm-hmm.
and also always super busy, and also when you don't cook for yourself.
Right. Right. You should just load up on this jerky and eat it between podcasts.
Oh, there we go.
It gets expensive, though, because it's only available at health food stores. That little pack was like...
Well, that's what I just said. It's hard to eat healthy.
Yeah, exactly. That was like more than $2, that little package.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
It
insane.
was like $2.50 or something.
That's crazy.
But, everything at the health food store...
I had a foot-long sub, a bag of chips, and 3 chocolate chip cookies for nothing.
For free. Right.
Free.
They give that shit away at Subway.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty good deal.
That is a super good deal.
That's
See? It's just more affordable to eat like shit.
well, yes. Yes, this is true. This is true. That's our lesson for the day.
Yeah, it's a lesson for life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eat like shit. It's cheap.
Yep. So, a horrible way to die would be a Subway overdose.
That's true. That's true.
But it's also a movie that we watched.
Yeah, a horror movie.
Yeah, horror thriller.
Yeah.
Because there's no supernatural nothings or anything like that.
No monsters under the bed.
No monsters under the bed. There's not even really any kind of slasher type things going on.
I mean, there's some murders.
There's murders and there's a killer, but
Yeah.
not in the Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees kind of way.
Right.
He's just a guy,
Some dude.
just a dude.
Beard.
Various stages of beard.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like how the beard becomes a magical flashback alert
Yeah.
in this movie. Like,
It takes some time to notice it, though.
yeah.
Because, this movie jumps around in time a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much the only clue to it is the killer's facial hair,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
which is a little off-putting.
Well, the first time you see him, he's got hardly any facial hair.
Right.
And then it cuts back to him with facial hair. Yeah, I mean, I picked it up kind of right then, I think.
I picked it up too, but
Yeah.
it's just there should have been some other distinguishing visual element to help with that, though. I think
Like a different color tone or something like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a tripod could have been used for one of those time periods.
Oh, yeah. So this was a shaky cam film.
Yeah, it was.
So it's about a serial killer, right? Are we gonna
Yeah,
set it up?
sure.
Serial killer guy.
It's about a serial killer by the name of Garrick Terrell, something like that. He is. We see him first thing in the movie. He is killing a woman. Very emotional about it.
Yeah.
Then the next time we see him, he is in prison. And fully bearded. Whereas the first time he just has a mustache and some groovy sideburns.
Yeah, those are groovy. Pretty
looking,
groovy.
Looking a lot like Paul F. Tompkins, the comedian.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of another comedian, John C. Reilly, at some point in this movie.
He's got a-
When he wasn't bearded.
Right. He does kind of have a John C. Reilly-ish kind of
Something about his
something about him.
yeah
Uh,
his skin stock. He's got a nice John C. Reilly skin stock.
alrighty. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean he's not a fat dude,
No.
but he's got some
He's
like
got some baby face.
yeah, he's got a little some baby fat on his face. Yeah.
It looked like if he wasn't just a cold-blooded murderer, like you could just go up to him and just rub his face.
Yeah. Maybe that's how he gets so many ladies to fall in his trap.
Could be. He's he's a handsome dude.
Yeah, he's all right.
I'll say that.
Right, you're secure.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason I even wanted to watch this movie in the first place was because I do have a little bit of a man crush on that actor.
I remember you said last week that there was an actor. I assumed it was him
Yep.
Is he-
A.J. Bowen.
because he was in Hatchet 2, right?
Hatchet 2.
Yeah.
He was in The Signal. He played
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The crazy guy.
Yeah.
And he was also in a movie that I just saw a couple months ago called You're Next. Which is written and directed by the same team that made this movie.
Oh yeah,
In fact, all three of the main actors in this movie are in You're Next.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. So they're like a little troupe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. That's
And,
cool.
The lady and the other dude are also both directors of their own films. The lady was also in the movie Upstream Color.
Oh,
The
okay.
Shane Carruth follow-up to Primer,
Yeah.
which took forever. 9 years, something like that.
Oh, between movies, really?
Yeah. I mean, Primer came out in 2003, 2004, something like that.
I mean, it had to have been because it was one of our early reviews,
Well,
but
sure,
I can't remember how much.
For a long time by then.
Yeah. Huh? I can't remember.
Yeah. I'll say early to mid 2000s is when that came
I
out.
still want to see Upstream Color.
You should. I recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not this movie.
No, this one was a horrible way to die.
Yes, it was.
So yeah.
So anyway, so this serial killer escapes from prison, basically.
Right.
And then we're getting a parallel plot of this woman, an alcoholic who's attending AA meetings, and she meets and kind of falls for another guy in the group, and they get to know each other, and then it's about their relationship building. while at the same time this killer is seemingly making his way toward her
Mm-hmm.
for reasons unknown.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
And then there are flashbacks.
As I say, the flashbacks to kind of fill you in on who this killer is, and like
Right.
how
In his relationship to this woman.
how he relates to her. Yeah.
Right. Basically, spoiler. It's not a spoiler because it says so on the back of the DVD case.
Right.
That she is his ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And she is clearly... she clearly knows that he is a killer.
Yeah.
And is basically trying to readjust to life, post that knowledge. Post realizing that she was involved with a mass murderer.
Right. Yeah, I think that would be kind of a hiccup in your date life. You
Right.
know, it might set you back a little bit.
Yeah, probably. It's not going to do you any good in your head.
Right. Right.
In fact, I have a theory about this movie, at least one aspect, that I don't think she was an alcoholic at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that she was only in AA as a cover, a sort of support for her just to try to relate to other people again and readjust to life.
Really?
And, yeah, that's my theory.
Huh. I mean, there was a scene where she's like pouring whiskey down the toilet.
There is, and I think that for me was more realizing that she was about to embark on this relationship with this other guy.
Oh,
And
okay.
she
So she didn't want him to see it.
Right. She didn't want to
okay.
have alcohol in the house. For him.
Interesting.
Because because the other earlier scenes in the movie that we get where the group is sharing their different stories about dealing with alcohol and whatever, it all comes off as real and emotional, and they have a story to tell.
Right.
And when it's her time to tell the story, like, it's full of holes and she's not really clear about it.
Right.
And, like, she mostly just focuses on this previous bad relationship that she had. And
Right.
then it just almost seems like she puts drinking in as like an afterthought
Huh.
because she realizes that, she's an AA.
I think it's an interesting theory. I don't agree maybe with my interpretation of it. I honestly think in AA she just was kind of skirting around the topic of her mass murder ex-boyfriend.
Well, sure.
And
There's that.
And like, because there's a scene where she meets a dude at a restaurant, and she seems actually troubled by the fact that there's all these wine bottles. Like, she brought it up.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't think I agree.
Yeah.
But you never know. That's the thing about theories
Yeah, that's true.
until they're proven.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sticking with mine.
But yeah. So there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of great characters in this movie who are fleshed out really well.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a horror movie, and it's about a killer, but there's like 60-70% of it is just character development
Right.
and relationship building, and
Yeah.
like even with the killer, just
Right.
seeing like in the flashbacks to how he related to his girlfriend, and
Right.
yeah,
And his various victims and
right,
encounters, like the old man who knows about Obama's secret.
transducers, or
I forget what he called
Yeah.
it. Some sort of
something
mind
in the
control.
power lines.
Right.
That the plastic roof of his car is not going to protect him from the government reading his mind.
Right. He's warning the serial killer,
Right. Yeah.
who he doesn't know is a serial killer.
Right. Yeah.
Which is funny because it's kind of saying, like, this guy, he's got all these theories and everything, and he's staring not only at the serial killer, but like a foot away from the serial killer is a newspaper stand with
That has
this
his face.
with the serial killer's face on it. So it's kind of saying, like, yeah, like this guy is like so in tune with some things and
Right.
so out of tune with reality.
Are you saying that that's me? And that's my theory about.
I was referring to your theory.
about her being in AA.
I was referring to that.
Okay. Yeah.
No. No, that guy, I love
That was
it.
great.
Yeah, I love that guy. Like, he's like we've watched a few movies where I think like a character just wandered off the set of an unmade Coen Brothers movie, and this was one of them. Yeah, that was a good character.
That is one of those things where I do wonder if, because this was a low budget movie, and I just sort of wonder if, like, they were shooting on location and they just ran into this guy.
Right, like he's not an actor.
Right, yeah, he just, like went up to one of the directors and just started talking about, like, the power lines and how the government is controlling the lines, and they're like, dude, you have to be on our movie.
Can we put makeup on you and you recite that again? Or maybe he's like one of the people that put up some money. He's like, yeah, just put me in your movie somehow. And they're like, fuck, how are we going to get this guy in our movie without fucking it up? I know. Comedy relief.
Which this movie needed.
Yeah, it's pretty dark and...
Yeah.
And
there's a couple times where there's some laughs, but, nothing...
Right. It's just enough.
Busting,
just enough, right?
Yeah.
To relieve the tension. I thought the actors were all great.
Oh, yeah.
The characters and the actors were great. And, like, even though it had a real artsy kind of filming style, like, it does work. Like, usually it's kind of a gamble, shaky cam, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It kind of works, though, with this movie.
I could have used a little less of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are sometimes I thought it was really good. Like there's a scene where the main character, Sarah, is talking to, her potential new boyfriend, Kevin. And, like it's being shot from, like, the passenger side of the car, and she's in the driver's seat, and Kevin is outside.
Right.
And so the camera is kind of just lilting a little bit, and then, like, he gets up, and the camera just kind of swoops down for a second, and then kind of readjusts back to Sarah's face. I thought, like, that kind of thing was good.
Right.
But then there are times where, there's, like, Christmas lights in the way, and, like, everything is just super shaky.
Yeah. The Christmas lights thing was very artsy looking, but I thought it gave a good atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
But it's a kind of a risky choice to make. I mean, because it can throw off a lot of viewers. I mean, like, I get that they're, like, making this, like, this is their vision, and they're not, like, trying to make it super commercialized, obviously. But I think that could throw a lot of people off.
Yeah, I could have done with a little less, but for the most part, it didn't bother me that much.
Yeah, me neither.
I watched a movie a couple days ago called Seventh Moon, which was directed by one of the co-directors of the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And it was filmed with shaky cam, but it was super fucking shaky. And on top of it, it was not lit.
Right.
And it all took place at night in the middle of the country.
I think I saw this on your blog where you actually were blogging and you stopped watching the movie during your typing.
No, I watched the entire movie.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just getting more and more pissed off of it as it was happening. Because there gets to be a 20-minute sequence where it's filmed entirely by a cell phone light.
Oh, nice.
And of course, as you know, cell phone lights, they go out every, like, 2 minutes or so.
Right.
To refresh it.
Yeah.
So, like, every 2 minutes or so, like, she'd have to, like, close her phone and then open it back up again and relight the movie.
Well, that's relatable. I had to do that.
Sure, we all have. But not when you're trying to watch a movie.
Right. The last time I remember doing that was when I worked a night shift at Mavericks, and I was trying to file stuff into the back room that had no lights that work. Yeah, and I was using my cell phone. Yeah, so that's scary too.
Sure, yeah. But, if I was filming a movie about that, I would probably put up some sort of lighting.
Like a dim light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To at least make sure that the viewer could see what was happening.
Right.
Other than your cell phone light.
Again, an artsy choice that perhaps didn't work.
Did not. At all. Fuck that movie. But at least I could see everything in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're going to do something that has very little light or shaky cam, choose one over the other. This movie chose shaky cam over poorly lit. Because it was perfectly fine in seeing everything.
It's true. Yeah.
So I take it you maybe enjoyed this movie a little.
There's a lot of parts about this movie I liked, but I would say I did not like it.
Okay.
I just I don't know. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a really good movie.
Okay.
I just don't think it's a good movie for Jason Young.
Alrighty.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't point to things that really needed improving. I just don't think it was for me.
Okay.
Like it kind of made me feel kind of gross, and I didn't really like the ending. And I don't think that's necessarily a fault of the filmmakers. I just think it's not my cup of tea.
Because you're a giant vagina.
That's right. Yeah. I'm a veggie jerky eating vagina.
That was cruel of me.
No, but I think it was very well done. It just kind of made me feel weird and gross, and So I mean, that's a good sign, right? It affected me.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think they did their job,
Yeah.
but I would never want to watch it again.
Now, what exactly about it was it that affected you in that manner? Like, because I mean, as far as gore goes, there wasn't a ton.
There's not much gore. I don't know. I think it just kind of, like, not that. I don't know. Like, it had a.
I mean, the ending, I can totally agree with you on that. That was gross and weird.
Yeah.
Like the reveal at the end, the twist.
Right.
But.
And I kind of saw half of the twist coming like 40 minutes away.
I kind of felt that something was going to be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you wonder if it's a red herring, but the moment that character is introduced, I was like, huh.
Right.
But, like, that happens a lot where you're like, huh, and it turns out to be a red herring.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, well before the end of the movie, I was like, okay, I know what's going to happen with her new beau here.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. It was like, it was such a good character piece, but it almost felt kind of gratuitous, and like I know I would have loved this when I was younger because I didn't care about that.
Right.
But it's just something that started bothering me in the last few years when things are just like dark and dark and dark, and like just like, oh, let's make the audience kind of feel kind of bad and weird. I don't know. That's just not something that I like anymore. But I think it was done well.
Doesn't bother me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, I do. I mean, overall, I would prefer to watch a more fun movie anytime.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but
Yeah, I don't mind serious and dark, like
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
not fun. I don't mind not fun. But there's something about it that just kind of, it was off. It was just like off-putting about, I don't know, the way I felt as I watched it.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that. Like I said, except for the last couple minutes of the movie,
Right.
when it took its turn, and that felt dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But it also didn't get as bad as I thought it was going to get. Like once that happened, I was like, oh, this is gonna.
It's gonna end horribly.
Yeah. But it really didn't.
Right.
Uh,
Well, see, that's the thing too. Okay, that might be a huge part of it for me. Is I don't think the story was anywhere near as well written as the characters. I think the characters were amazingly well written,
okay.
but the actual like just events
Plot,
that unfolded, it just felt kind of like if it would have been so well written that I was like, oh my god, oh wow, I didn't see it coming. Like I would have not even noticed that I felt bad because I would have been so impressed with the story.
I can see that. Yeah, I can totally buy that.
Right.
I mean, yeah, the story is kind of thin,
Yeah.
and I think the fact that it does take the majority of the movie to actually, tell you where this is headed,
Right.
And what, is happening, because, up until that point, up until like the last 30, 20 minutes, whatever, it is just all about the characters and, them relating to each other in whatever way.
Building them up and
Right,
fleshing them out.
But the actual, plot progression doesn't really.
There's a lot. It's very. It's like
It's
tension.
a tense movie.
They rely on
Yeah.
tension to kind of tell the story, which works to some degree. But I mean, after like 45 minutes of it, you're like, all right, I need a little more story than tension.
Right.
Um,
Well, I can say that I liked this movie more than you did,
mhm.
but I did not. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed this movie.
Right.
But it is a very good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's overall very well done, but
Yeah.
definitely not my thing.
I did like You're Next a lot better than this film. It had more of a sense of humor, and they could afford tripods.
Right.
Uh,
And the actor you like I'd forgot he was in The Signal.
yeah.
He's pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah,
like a
uh-huh.
dark, funny kind of way. Like, that would have been nice to see. I mean, there was like that funny scene with the Coen Brothers extra guy, but it would have been nice to see him do like maybe one other kind of funny scene.
Sure.
But I mean, it's hard to like make the serial killer in your dark movie the comedy relief.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can see why that was a choice too. Like I said, I don't fault the filmmakers. I think they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they did what they wanted to do, and they did it very well and to the letter. But yeah, it's just gonna be a personal feeling, I guess. How you react to it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think that other than the shaky cam thing, like I don't like on every level, I don't think that they did anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
It's pretty well made.
Yeah. But it turns out that apparently I'm a fan of these guys because I've seen some other stuff that they've done together.
Right.
The director and the writer, Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett. They did a segment on VHS,
Yeah, okay.
the anthology movie, and I can't remember exactly which one they directed, but I think it was one of the ones I did enjoy. The Kevin guy, the new boyfriend.
Right.
He was in VHS as well. I think he directed one of the segments and he acted in a different one. And the one that he acted in was really good as well.
You said that Sarah was a director too?
She's a director too, but I can't remember. Like I didn't recognize any of the movies that she had directed. But yeah, I've seen her in like 3 or 4 other things.
She was really good.
She's really good too. Yeah. But yeah, then the Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett, they also directed a segment in the ABCs of Death, which
Okay.
I think I've talked about before. It's like 26 short films based on the letter of the alphabet. And when you have that many short films, only a handful of them are
Yeah.
really going to be good.
Right.
And they had one of the standout ones, which was Q is for Quack.
Like a duck or like a crazy doctor? Okay.
Like a duck.
Okay.
Their movie is that their short film, I'll go ahead and spoil it here, is they've been selected to direct a segment for the ABCs of Death, and they get Q, and they don't know what the hell to do for Q.
Like that's their movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they finally decide that, they're going to make a snuff film about killing a duck on camera. And so they get a duck, and they go out to the desert, and they're preparing to just shoot this duck, and then just things go horribly awry.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's great.
See? Like I would enjoy that one more.
Right,
I
yeah.
would imagine. So yeah, I would watch other stuff by them because I
Yeah.
think like I said, I think they're talented.
I think you might like Your Next better.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still gross, in some ways, like kind of dirty.
Right.
But it does have a lot more of a sense of humor about itself,
Right.
and it's kind of genuinely funny.
Right.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's
It's a
what,
little more fun,
right.
even though it is also super dark and disturbing. Yeah.
See, I like that kind of balance.
Yeah.
I like body bags there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would recommend this if you're into super serious, dark horror thriller type movies. Yeah.
With really good character piece.
Yeah.
Like the characters are
And
great.
it is slow,
Yeah.
which we've got a bonus episode coming up where
That's right. We found out that you hate slow movies.
yeah. So I hope one of our upcoming guests listens to this particular episode.
Oh.
And then he can take my opinion and shove it up his ass.
Oh, there was one other thing I did not like about this movie that I don't necessarily think is just a personal choice.
Okay.
That I think is something that I just don't think is good filmmaking.
Okay. All right.
Okay. When first of all, like, I realize it's a shaky cam scene, so it's almost supposed to be like you're there or whatever.
Right.
But there was a scene towards the beginning of the movie, and I've seen this in many other films and it bugs the shit out of me. When they're filming someone, and there's a cut, but it's just a cut in the same exact spot, like the camera's in the same spot,
Oh yeah.
and you see the guy move a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I think that only works if you're trying to be like, this guy is like addled on drugs and he's losing track of time, or if something like that where it's like part of the story. But yeah, if the camera is in the same spot basically, and then it just like pauses and the guy's like, like 4 inches away from that, it feels like, oh, they cut there.
Right.
It doesn't look like it's like a storytelling device so much as, oh, they cut there and they should have inserted like, what he sees when he looks out the windshield or something.
Right. I did not notice it. Whatever it is you're talking about.
It was in a car, and it was in like the first 10 minutes of the movie, but I can't remember. I can't remember even who it was. I guess it was the serial killer guy.
Yeah, I cannot remember that specifically what you're talking about here. But I have seen that in other things, and it bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it takes you out of it a little bit.
Oliver Stone, to me, is the king of that.
Right?
Just like I remember watching, what is it, Every Other Sunday?
I haven't seen that. Every Given Sunday?
Every Given Sunday.
Any
yeah.
given
Any given something.
I've
Something
never-
about Sundays and football.
Yeah. I love Sundays. I used to watch football and eat Sundays.
Did you?
No, I don't watch football.
Yeah. Didn't think you did. But yeah, it's Oliver Stone's football movie, Something About Sunday. I remember watching that, and I remember at one point getting so annoyed, and I started counting, and it was 3 seconds between every cut.
Right?
Every cut in that movie. 3 seconds. And it would just be like, people walking down a hall, talking to each other, and there would just be a cut.
Right.
But like, it wasn't like...
The camera didn't move.
Right, yeah, it was just following these people walking down
Right.
the hall.
Oh, yeah, that's so annoying. Yeah. And like, if you would have said, it's a Natural Born Killers in a scene where they're on peyote, I'd be like, well, that works.
Sure, right,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of annoying. So yeah, if you happen to watch it again, see if you notice that.
All right.
Because that was like the first thing I was like, ooh.
Alright. So, take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Thursday night, everything's fine, except you've got that look in your eye when I'm telling a story and you find it boring. You're thinking of something to say, you'll go along with it, then drop it and humiliate me in front of our friends. Then I'll use that voice that you find annoying and say something like, yeah, intelligent input, darling, why don't you just have another beer then? Then you'll call me a bitch and everyone we're with will be embarrassed and I won't give a shit. My fingertips are holding onto the cracks in our foundation, and I know that I should let go, but I can't. And every time we fight, I know it's not right. Every time that you're upset and I smile, I know I should forget, but I can't. You said I must eat so many lemons, 'cause I am so bitter. I said I'd rather be with your friends, mate, 'cause
welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Ooh, nothing.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Not too much.
Yeah.
Just doing my thing.
Doing your thing. What's your thing?
Doing some drawings.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do any drawings last night.
I know. That was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Are we doing that again next week with Mr. G?
I don't believe we are.
Okay.
No.
I wasn't sure.
He is coming in on the Thursday.
Thursday. This coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday.
Okay. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't.
I will remind
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So we will have regularly designated drawing night next Saturday.
Nice.
This past Saturday, however, we did not. We filmed a bonus ode. You'll be hearing that in a few days.
We hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope you listen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing I kind of wanted to mention about this movie. Very polite.
Yeah. After all that horror
Yeah.
and off-puttingness, they thank you for watching at the end.
Yeah. They
That
did.
is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to be appreciated
Great.
as a viewer.
I don't think I'd seen that in a movie ever.
I feel like there has to have been one.
There has to have been, but I could not.
I can't
tell
recall
you.
one.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was old-timey kind of end credits,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like it wasn't a continuous scroll up the screen.
Right.
It was like title cards,
Right.
and then the very last one it just said thank you for watching.
And right before that, the line before that was "No animals were harmed."
Well,
So you're like, "Oh, those guys are nice." As you're reading, "No animals are harmed," and you're like, "Those guys are really nice."
Right.
When you read the thank you.
well, all movies have the no animals are harmed in this movie, unless I guess they were harmed. But,
Right. Then they leave that out.
Right.
Well, that's nice too.
Sure,
They're not
sure.
lying about it. I mean, if you torture a horse to death on film,
Right.
you don't want to say that you didn't.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've already done, one bad thing. Yeah. So, that. Oh, yeah, I went to breakfast with my old boss today.
Your boss at the.
Mavericks Cards and Comics.
Oh, so not the mental hospital or whatever it was
They
you
were-
worked at.
It was a day program, schoolish environment. It wasn't
Right.
not a hospital. No, yeah, I hadn't talked to Jack Maverick, as the kids call him, in a long time, like about 2 months maybe.
You quit in July.
Was it July?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking I quit the other one in like August. That's probably what.
Early August. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I hadn't talked to Jack for the longest stretch ever, probably since
Right.
I've met him, for like 2 months. So yeah, that was nice. We had breakfast. He asked if I wanted to come back to Mavericks because he had heard that I had quit my other job, and I said no. Well, I said I don't really think I want to, Jack. And he was like, well, why don't you work like 1 day a week or something? And I was like, well, let me think about it until February. But I had told him no, but
Right.
I could just tell he was like, I mean, that's awesome. Like, that's cool that he still wanted me to come back there. He wasn't like too upset or hurt that I left.
Right.
Or he wasn't too upset that I've not had a job for almost 2 months and not bothered to tell him.
Right.
So
He didn't come crawling back.
right,
Yeah.
I did not.
But you told me this earlier, and we have decided that even though you told him no, he's already rearranged the schedule to have you back in.
I'm probably
Yeah.
yeah. Because sometimes he hears things that
wants
he
to
hears
hear.
the way he wants to hear them.
Right,
Right here, he reads in between the lines, and but yeah, he's a good guy. And it was nice. It was nice to see him again because I do think of him like family. So it was cool.
Right. I've always had nothing but respect for Jack as a person.
Hmm.
It's just as a business owner, he has some
He's got some quirks.
dubious choices,
Right.
such as not hiring me part-time when you left.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably his biggest crime.
Hmm. Against humanity
Mm-hmm.
and your pocketbook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I need a second job.
Maybe a listener would like to pay you for something.
If any listener out there would like to pay me for anything. Anything at all.
Anything legal. Whatever.
Anything at all. You can email me at something.net.
See?
So I have 39 email addresses.
Yeah.
I can't remember them.
It's like E. Schonborn, right? That's not one of
No.
them? That's not one of them?
No.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you.
I think it's at the end of this episode. I don't know. Go to the website. It's there.
Yeah, you can find
Go to
it.
trash.net. You'll
Or,
find
or
it.
comment on here.
Or comment. Whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Or find me on Facebook. Or the Twitters.
Yeah.
Or even the Tumblrs.
Yeah.
Or even my own personal blog.
You're out there.
I am out there. I am available.
Hmm.
For jobs and women.
Maybe you can combine the two.
Hey!
You know, maybe you should start hanging out at AA meetings because it worked for the dude in this movie.
That's true.
I mean, like he went in. Spoiler, right? He went in, like knowing who he wanted
Right.
to date.
Right.
It wasn't like it just organically happened.
No, yeah, he pursued her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it happened, and
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah. You know.
Although it might be better to go to a sexual addiction meeting.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sex
mean,
Addicts Anonymous.
We have recently discovered that the object of my affections kind of hates me now.
You've been spurned.
I have been spurned. Yeah.
Oh, man. There's nothing. There's probably not a lower feeling than being spurned by someone with a glory hole. But it happened.
It did. Yeah.
I watched it. I was peeping through the glory hole when it happened.
I'm not going to put any of that in context.
What? Yeah, why bother?
Yeah.
Is there anything else exciting?
Nothing I'm willing to talk about on here.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. People don't need to know my shit.
No, yeah, no. Yeah, no one needs to know. Other than you, and
Yeah.
your select circle.
Sure.
Um,
Just a quick aside. It is. There's a thing that's happening right now that has been happening for a while, and it does kind of feel weird to just not be open about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe feel better.
Yeah. I mean, my friends all know.
Right.
And that's a thing. So I'll leave it for that for now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. I started reading a book.
What? Like with pictures? Like a comic book?
There's a picture on the cover, but the rest of it's just all words. I got it. It was my token book from the library. Every time I go to the library, I won't just leave with DVDs and CDs because I want to make sure the library just doesn't stop stocking books because, like, fuck it, nobody gets them anymore.
Right.
So I always just grab one off the shelf. This time, I was like, I wonder if they have any books of Leonard Cohen's like poetry or short stories or whatever. Because I've been listening to a lot of his CDs lately. And I typed it in, and they had a Leonard Cohen book, but it was weird. It was like, because he's got the song Hallelujah. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Real, yeah.
And like everybody's covered it.
I
Like,
think you put it on the mixtape for me back when
Really?
we first started dating.
oh, memories. And so like everybody's covered this song, right? Like tons of
Right.
people, including Jeff Buckley, who arguably made it more famous than Leonard Cohen.
Right.
But for some reason, there is a book about that song.
Really?
An entire book.
That he wrote?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, it's just about a guy named Alan Light. He's a music, writer for
Okay.
magazines. But he wrote an entire book about this one song. And I was like, how can you write a book about a song?
Right.
So I was like, I gotta know. And I've read like first 50, 60 pages of it so far. And yeah, it's about that song.
There?
But
Is it worth reading?
it's interesting, like, because I really like Leonard Cohen and I kind of like Jeff Buckley,
Right.
and it kind of talks a lot about them, and it's not just about that song,
Right.
but I mean they'll tell anecdotes about those people, but it all kind of builds up to how they related to that song and what they've done with that song and how that song has, you know, like how it was not a success for like 15 years on the Earth, and then now it's like in like 9/11 memorials and like all just it's everywhere,
Right.
and like it was just kind of lingering in obscurity on the Earth, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But yeah, so far it's really good. It's called I think it's called The Holy and the Broken, which is a lyric from Hallelujah. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been reading it as I go to bed. You know, I read like a chapter at night or something.
Right. I only read most of the pictures in them. So I've been reading the 1990 Deathlock series as I go to bed.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Is that Mike Zeck? Or?
No.
No.
It
Okay.
is Jackson Goose.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know.
GUIC.
Yeah, sometimes he goes by Butch.
Huh.
But yeah, he drew it, and it's written by Dwayne McDuffie, and Gregory Wright.
Rewrite.
Hmm?
Not familiar.
Gregory.
Oh, I thought you said Greg Rewrite.
No, Gregory Wright.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were in that. I watched the movie today that you watched a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
Parts of.
Yeah.
In fact, we kind of already had a conversation about this on a different podcast,
But before you watched it.
but before I watched it.
Right.
So if you want to know all the time twisty kind of stuff is happening here, go listen to the latest episode of the Stupid Sexy Podcast
All right.
to hear our initial conversation about you guys, you and Kathleen, watching Room 237,
Right.
which is a documentary about different conspiracy theories about the movie The Shining.
Right. Yeah.
And you did not recommend it to me. You actually told me to probably not watch it.
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched it anyway, because fuck you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. Do you want to give them the gist of it?
It's not really a documentary about conspiracy theories about the movie The Shining. It is a documentary about crazy people.
You talk about The Shining a lot
Yes.
and watch it way too much.
Yeah, it is about people who are obsessed with The Shining and have pretty much figured out like one attribute about The Shining that they are trying to just glom onto it.
And tie every scene into
Right. yeah.
every color
Just
and
everything about the movie.
Right.
They have decided is about this various thing.
like the first one was about the like genocide of the Native Americans,
Right.
and then there's one about like Nazi Germany.
There's a couple about that, the Holocaust. There's some about like sexual repression or whatever like that. The one that is actually probably the most famous is the that you know, going off of the rumor that Stanley Kubrick directed the Apollo moon landing.
Right.
That the entirety of The Shining is his confession to the world that he directed the Apollo moon landing.
Right. Yeah. Well, that one we know is true.
Well, sure.
Yeah. The other ones I thought were crazy though.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Then I think there's one where it says that the movie needs to be watched, played forward and backward at the same time, superimposed against each other.
That's how I watch most movies.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like there was a theory. It was like Stanley Kubrick. I forget even what the theory was, but they were like one of the details was if you look in the clouds, you see a painting of Stanley Kubrick's face.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, you don't.
no, because they were showing that scene, and I was like, I'm looking for a face in the
Uh-huh.
cloud, and
Yep.
I can't see it. That says something. Like I can look outside right now and see a face in the clouds.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
that was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, one of the theories is that the entire movie is just Stanley Kubrick saying "fuck you" to Stephen King.
Well, that might be.
Well, part of it might be true. Yeah, because I guess he changed so much about the book to
Right.
make into the movie. And then, like, like one of those things that he changed was adding this the maze.
Oh, the hedge
The
maze.
hedge maze, which is not in the book. But then somebody takes that and decides that the movie is all about the Minotaur that lives at the center of the maze.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a movie about crazy people.
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off because I love The Shining. I love it, and I was like, oh my god, there's this, like, all of a sudden, I found out there's this documentary that has all these cool little secrets and Easter eggs about this movie I love, and then, like, no, like, maybe if I would have known exactly what it was going in, I would have been like, this is great, but like I'd build it up like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be awesome,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't fully know. Like I just knew that it was about different people's conspiracy theories about, The Shining.
Right.
And once I started watching it was like, no, it's about crazy people.
Right. Yeah. Like, there's even, like, I guess maybe the filmmakers maybe even have that same attitude, because there's a scene, like, pretty early on, because I only watched the first, like, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, but there's a scene where a guy's talking, he's like, oh, can you hear my kid in the background? Let me go take care of it. And, like, they just pause the scene that they're, like, commenting on.
Yeah.
And then, like, he goes and takes care of his kid, and then he comes back and they unpause it. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was maybe the only enjoyable bit for me.
I don't know. I think maybe you should give it a rewatch later.
I doubt it.
I don't know, because I mean, it is like some of the theories. I mean, they're all bullshit. I mean, they all have to be bullshit.
Right.
But they're entertaining.
Maybe next Halloween we'll watch The Shining for Spooktacular,
All right.
and afterwards it'll have been enough time passed
All right.
that I'll watch it with you.
Okay. Sounds fair. Because I've never actually seen The Shining, so yeah.
We should totally watch that sometime.
Yeah.
But we've already got all of our Halloween movies
Yeah, we
laid
do.
out.
Yep.
Not that you can't watch. Actually, I'll be honest, my favorite time to watch The Shining is in the dead of winter, because it really feels like you're part of the movie, because there's a lot of, like, just super snowy scenes in the movie.
Right.
And I do try to watch it every, like, Christmas time era.
I just watched Batman Returns.
Oh, that's a good Christmas movie, yeah. Die Hard is a good Christmas
Die
movie.
Hard, yeah, Gremlins.
Mm.
Yeah. I was watching Room 237, and I thought to myself, how awesome would it be to get a job like Jack Torrance, to just be the caretaker of a hotel during its off time.
I would love it. I would love it so much.
Oh yeah.
Even if it is haunted, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Even
Totally fine.
even if my boss uses his paper tray to mask his erection, I would be fine with that.
He didn't mask his erection.
Oh, that's right.
It was his erection.
It was an extension or whatever.
Yeah, I would totally do that. Even if the hotel turned me into a homicidal maniac,
Right.
that would make me kill my family.
Right.
It would still be a great job until that happened.
I would love it. I would love it so much. Like, with the amount of food that was stocked there, like, like, I know I am claustrophobic. Like, I rode an elevator today in a hospital, and I was like, about to kill myself just because it took like more than 20 seconds.
Right.
But I don't think I would be claustrophobic in a giant place like that, even if I could not leave.
Right.
I'd be fine. Especially if I could walk around in like a hedge maze or whatever.
Yeah, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
You can just walk around naked in a hotel. I agree with that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You're like, hey, my balls are on the lobby couch.
Yeah. And 2 hours ago I was eating ice cream with Scatman Crothers.
Yep.
This is
Because
the
it's
life.
haunted because he's dead.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Is he dead? I guess he
think
is.
he was.
He would
He was
be.
like 90 in that movie.
Yeah, he doesn't
And
say.
he still went on to be Jazz in the Transformers.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Man, Scatman Crothers. Yeah. But yeah, I was not a fan.
Yeah, not
Hmm.
real. Yeah, I got nothing else.
You know what I am a fan of?
What are you a fan of?
A comic book that I was going to make us read.
Oh.
And I was going through because I'd forgotten until this morning to pick something. And I was going through, like, I've got a huge stack that are my future gutter trash picks.
Great.
But I swear there's like no less than 50 of them. Like, I'm not exaggerating. And only one of them was like kind of horror related.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I guess I got to pick that one because I wanted to pick a horror thing.
Okay. Get in the spirit of things.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
So if you veto this, know that my other picks will not be horror related.
All right.
So-
I guess I'll try not to veto this.
Okay. I was gonna pick a book called Fatima, the Tales of the Blood Spinners, or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. I would not veto
Yeah.
that because I was interested in reading that.
Yeah, by Mr. Gilbert Hernandez
Yeah.
of the Los Bros Hernandez Bros.
The Los Pollos Hermanos?
Yeah, Los Bros Hermanos. No, they
I think it's
it is written as Los Brothers Hernandez.
Los
like-
Bros Hernandez. Yes.
Yeah.
But also the Hernandez brothers.
yeah, we just call them the
Gilbert
Hernandez
and
brothers.
Jaime.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which one is this one?
by Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a superior Hernandez brother?
You know,
Because I honestly never read a thing by them.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
except I did read the first issue of Fatima, and I liked it. That I would want to read the rest, but I just never got around to it. So
I definitely have a favorite.
okay.
But I actually met them both this summer at a TCAF,
Yeah.
and there was a guy, Tom Spurgeon, interviewed him, and he
He's
told,
the grumpy old fan.
is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Uh-huh.
He seemed nice. He had a glass of wine though.
That's one of his articles somewhere on the internet. Is
The
called
Grumpy Old Fan. He told Jaime Hernandez that he's like, I have to tell you this. He's like, because this is true. He said, you're my favorite comic artist of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's weird. I like his brother a lot better.
So you like Gilbert?
I like them both. I think they're both great. I've never read a ton of stuff by them. I've read maybe other than which I read. I called it Fatima.
I think it's Fatima.
I was. Oh yeah, that's right. No, that's what I called it too.
Mhm.
But he called it Fatima. He called it something different than I called it.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But
Hispanic pronunciation would be Fatima. So
Fatima. Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't read a lot of stuff by them. I mean, I'll go into this obviously more when we talk about it. But yeah, I don't know why.
Okay.
They're just one of those artists, or some of those artists that I've never read a ton by.
So I mean, because honestly, I would have pegged you for Love and Rockets.
I know, right? I've read like 3 issues of Love and Rockets in my life, and like I don't know why, because I didn't dislike any of them,
Right.
and like some of them were like a decade ago, like the first one I read, and probably.
Right.
So I don't know why, but it's just one of those things. It's like whenever I'm like I've never seen, this, like I've never seen E.T. until 2 years ago or something.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it with Doogie and Zippy and Matt Brassfield for the first time. Yeah. And when we lived at Gainsborough House, I saw E.T. for the first time. Isn't that weird?
It's super weird.
I know, I grew up in the time that it was, like,
Right,
I had the
yeah.
fucking E.T. video game and an E.T. toy.
Yeah.
I had those when I was, like, 10 years old.
Right. Like, I know there's people out there who would probably give me shit for having not ever seen The Shining.
Right.
Being a 35-year-old dude who loves horror.
Right, yeah, that's
And
weird.
Could also possibly say that I'm kind of a fan of Kubrick's work.
Yeah.
Sure, I get that, but, just one of those things that, I mean, it was a rated R movie, and, I wasn't allowed to watch those until I was, like, at least a teen.
Well, that's my
and
same
by that
thing
point-
with E.T. for me.
Well,
Because it was rated R, my mom wouldn't let me go see it.
thanks for ruining my point.
Oh.
Dick.
What was your point? Same thing.
Yeah, basically, my point was that, yeah, that came out when we were just children.
Right.
And like every children, all over the world saw that movie.
Right.
Like how the fuck did you not?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It is weird.
Like yeah, just like there's a certain subset of movies, like Gremlins, Goonies,
Ghostbusters.
that like all came out when we were like 4 or 6 years old, whatever.
Right.
That we've seen all those.
Mhm.
And we grew up with those, and wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Wow. Yeah. I know, right? But yeah, it's one of those things. Like it seems like something that I would have devoured, and
Right.
I would have fucking Hernandez Brothers tattoos, and like it seems like something I would fucking love. But I just for some reason never read that much.
Yeah, I've never read a single thing Love and Rockets related, or really anything by them other than that first issue of Fatima.
Wow. So you don't own those, do you?
I do not own those.
Okay, well, I'll bring them by.
Yeah, because you lent me the first issue, and I thought it was really good. And,
I read them as they came out monthly, and like it's been
It's been like
it's
a year
been
and a
it's
half,
been
too.
enough
Yeah.
time. I mean, I kind of remember it, but I'd like to
Right.
reread it real quick. So
yeah, I'm in. Let's do this.
sweet,
All right.
sweet. Well, more horror awaits us,
Yeah.
and more horror awaits you if you choose to listen.
In every way possible.
Is that a Jeff Darrow cable?
I don't know.
What the hell was that? Art flew by on his screensaver, and I swear I saw a Jeff Darrow cable.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been.
Wow.
There then.
All right.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.